And today is a good story. It's one of those stories that sort of, I think, really demonstrates what we talk about when we highlight first responders, the challenges, the risks, certainly, and in this case, an ending that worked out. And I think I'm excited about this one. I love all the stories, but we have a great studio full of great guests today. Leading us off, Chief of the Milwaukee Fire Department, Aaron Lipsky. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have two firefighters. One is Lieutenant Ben Baus.
Good morning.
Good to see you. And then Ryan McMenamin, firefighter for the city of Milwaukee. I don't really want to do much more because I want to play the feature that we interviewed all of you last week. So I want to let the feature speak for itself because yesterday I stepped all over the feature and I got yelled at. So I'm not going to do that today. But it is a piece that we put together based on just getting the story. We'll fill in the gaps after that, but I want to play the feature now on this great story. And the cool part about this is co-honorees. I'm not sure I've ever done this in the history of this salute. So very cool story.
Hello, I'm Chief Aaron Lipsky, Milwaukee Fire Department. I am nominating Lieutenant Ben Baus and firefighter Ryan McMenamin. April 14, 2024, right around 5 in the morning, report of a house fire on South 8th Street. Companies responded in. They found one house very well involved in fire that appeared to be vacant. That fire quickly spread to a house to the north and a house to the south. We were able to quickly evacuate people in the house to the north. However, there were some folks that had trouble getting out on the house to the south.
Me and Captain Lashinsky were tasked with going into that house to get all the occupants out of that house.
They removed one individual off the first floor.
I started to walk him outside. He said that his wife, who was disabled, was on the second floor, and Captain Lashinsky said that he was going to start to make his way up there and start to work to get her out.
At this point, the building is starting to clearly be attacked by the fire from next door.
The conditions were not in our favor.
What folks might not understand is when we arrive and now there's 3 buildings involved, we're outmatched right off the bat.
Captain Lashinsky was having issues getting the patient out. He ended up falling down a flight of stairs, trying to maneuver her out and around stuff that was piled on the stairs. I started to go up, and I almost had hands on the patient, and they both started screaming, "We gotta go, we gotta go." As I started coming back down the stairs, I noticed that I had fire coming up above me in the stairwell, and I was able to basically retreat to the front of the house on the second floor. The window that was there was boarded up, and due to the burns that I had sustained on the first floor, I didn't have much dexterity with my hands, and I was able to call for help.
I was in radio communication with them leading up to the event. What Ryan did on that day was nothing short of incredible.
It was the relying on the training that I've gotten to be able to react that I think was what truly saved my life.
Ryan's ability to remain calm, answer questions on the radio, lead us to him, gave him his best chance of survival, allowed us to execute a rescue and help him out. And once I got to him, it was just a huge sigh of relief to see him. There's a lot of other firefighters on this job that could have been put in this position. This may not work out the same way.
I was transported to St. Mary's Hospital. They said that I had 23% burns. I had 3 surgeries for skin grafts. I spent 27 days at St. Mary's Burn Unit and had phenomenal care from the staff there. They were amazingly wonderful. My family, my girlfriend, both of our families jumped in and helped out every day. But the fire department I had probably more visitors than the rest of the hospital. It seemed like every day there was probably 30 to 40 people that were coming up. That attitude that they brought was contagious.
About 8 months after his injuries, Ryan McMenamin returned to full duty. He's back on the south side, aboard Engine 23. Ryan, thank you so much for your dedication, for your heroics, and your service. Ryan, please stand and be congratulated. Thank you, Ryan.
What does salute to service mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm very honored. I stood several years ago and put my hand up and said that this was the job that I was going to do, and people shouldn't expect anything less. So I'm very honored. I think it's a great thing to recognize people and really kind of show people that go above and beyond. And Chief Lipsky and Lieutenant Baus, I think, are examples of that.
Ben Baus, what does salute to service mean to you?
Well, it's truly an honor to be sitting here, but to me, this is truly a representation for really our company. It's a privilege to work on Rescue 1. It's an honor and privilege to work with the men and women I get to work with, and the way that they showed out and worked on this day, it's just an honor to be a part of it.
Our fourth and fifth honorees for Waterstone Bank's Salute to Service. And we'll take a break, but joining us in studio, Chief Aaron Lipsky, Lieutenant Ben Baus, and firefighter Ryan McMenamin, along with his girlfriend Lauren. We'll hear more of the story and sort of explore some of the things that I heard in that piece, which I love when I hear training, because I know Chief Lipsky a little bit, and training is such a big part of that. And I think that's one of the reasons we had the outcome that we did. So we'll continue the conversation with our guests. It is Salute to Service presented by Waterstone Bank on 620 WTMJ. We have a great story today. As I said at the beginning, Chief Aaron Lipsky, Milwaukee Fire Department, Lieutenant Ben Baus, and firefighter Ryan McMenamin, joint co-honorees, which I'm pretty sure I've never done before. I'm going to go to Lieutenant Ben Baus first. Let's get your mic on. Is his mic on? Say something.
Hello.
All right. So he's like the shyest of the group, I think, but obviously good at your job. We heard some of it in the piece, but your involvement in this story and how you, I guess the training part is the part, how you're able to do what you did in aspect of Ryan McMenamin.
Sure. This is something that we prepare for, really on a daily basis. It's something that we hope we don't ever have to really get put in to do, but we're ready for it. And as a company officer in a rescue company, it's pretty. I'm very fortunate with the people that I get to work with. Training is a very important job, and it's part of my job to make sure that the members that I work with are, prepared and ready on a daily basis to do whatever I ask them to do. And when it's very easy to get buy-in, so we train daily. They're always, willing participants and ready to learn, and honestly ready to teach me. We learn from each other, and we put a lot of work in towards this type of stuff. And when the moment came and Ryan was in need and other members needed help, we all worked together well, and we were able to do a lot of good on 414.
And sort of the same question, Ryan. You obviously were someone who was severely injured here. Like, what was the number? 23% over your body.
Yep, correct.
I mean, when you face these situations, you know that any day that you go to work, this might be something that you have to face, and it doesn't stop you from doing the job. And I think that is training, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's what helps promote the training is the fact that we want to come home and we want to prepare for every situation so that we're able to mitigate it safely. And I think the safest way for us to operate is to be prepared for as much as that we can.
How has this incident, obviously then the physical piece, changed your life?
Everything has kind of come back. I got a few battle wounds, but thankfully the burns didn't cause any major deficits to me. So I'm very appreciative of that, and we're back in action, ready to go.
I was going to say, was there ever a moment in your recovery where you thought you wouldn't go back?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a matter of how long.
And how has it been since being back? Is there any kind of residual feelings as far as when that call comes, or is it kind of just get back in motion?
No, it's get back in motion. I think a lot of it comes down to the trust that we have together. And I know the people that are working beside me are, have my back, and that was definitely proven that day. And, we all look out for each other to try and make things the best that we can for us and for the other people.
And Chief, you always send me great recommendations, and you obviously know your team very well at Milwaukee Fire Department. When I saw this story, I said, this is a no-brainer. This is a story that we have to tell. When you think about that day, that moment, I think it was 414, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that day. And the work that your two individuals of your great team did, that has to make you proud.
I have to pinch myself regularly every time I'm reminded that, hey, you're actually in charge of this outfit. Because the work that they do, it isn't because I'm showing up saying you got to do this, you got to train, these folks are so self-motivated. It's inspiring to me. It makes me push harder. But I will tell you that without a doubt, it is the work of these two. But there was an entire team working in pretty unglamorous, unflattering positions, uncomfortable spots. And those things, on game day, of course, we celebrate that it came together. But it is that preparation beforehand And everybody that participates willingly and aggressively in that training, that's what allowed all of this to come to be on this day. And these two that we're so lucky to have here with us, they really, really were the exact right people with the exact right preparation at, I don't want to call it the right time, but at a horrible time.
Chief Aaron Lipsky, Lieutenant Ben Baus, and firefighter Ryan McMenamin in studio as we celebrate our 4th and 5th honorees, Waterstone Bank Salute to Service. We'll take a break. I want to ask you about service, public service, and firefighting. Kristen and Steve, point taken. Salute to Service on 620 WTMJ. Honoring our 4th and 5th honorees. Thank you, Waterstone Bank. They're always great stories. We are joined in studio by Chief Aaron Lipsky from the Milwaukee Fire Department, firefighter Ryan McMenamin, and Lieutenant Ben Baus. I'll start with you, Chief. We only got about 3 minutes or so, but when I talk about salute to service, I want to honor people that do outstanding work on and off duty, 24/7, 365. What is we sort of hit it in the thing, but salute to service, public service, what does it mean to you specifically?
What it means to me is it is not a title, it is not a rank, it is not anything other than a choice that these two gentlemen and many, many others made to put themselves in harm's way so that others might live. And hats off for that.
All right, firefighter McMenamin, tremendous story. I'm so happy that you are back to work and going to be able to enjoy a long, successful career. You have to think about these things, though, when you go to work every day, because it's happened to you directly. So I know you could put that aside, but what is it about being a firefighter that just drives you, that makes you want to show up to work every day, even given your story?
A big one is the people that we work with. A lot of like-minded people. We all have, same common interest, and we're all pushing for the same goal at the end of the day. And it's contagious, and it really helps bring everybody up every day and makes it very easy.
How happy were you to see Lieutenant Ben Baus? I'm assuming through like a face mask or something when he showed up there.
Yeah, there was a very overjoyous moment of joy for me to see him and see the window coming out and seeing some daylight break.
It's just an awesome story. And Lieutenant, you're obviously very good at your job, but I mean, those are things that they don't happen every day on the job. What do you think about when in terms of your everyday, day-to-day work, and then that day? How do those two things mesh?
Well, yeah, definitely something that doesn't happen every day. Honestly, I think about it. I'm just, we're thankful Ryan's here. That's the real reward from all of this. But honestly, I just couldn't be more pleased with my company. In a moment where I didn't have time to explain things, their ability to move with a purpose and just accomplish tasks without being told. It's just truly a pleasure to be a part of a rescue company. Our HERT team in general, and and we're just thankful Ryan's here with us.
Going through that, what have you taken forward with your job? Obviously, this is an unbelievably high pressure situation, and that you hope you don't have to be in, but it's also part of the job. And so, in the year, right, since
A little bit over a year, what do you feel like either you, I guess Lipsky as well, but have learned from this that has made you better at your job?
We're constantly learning. We're constantly trying to get better. I think this was just a scenario where it really got real really fast. And honestly, it's just a good reminder to us that all these trainings are important. Yeah. They're real. They're going to happen. Unfortunately, it's coming again soon, potentially, the way that, the challenges that we face on a daily basis. So we're just going to keep, putting our feet to the ground, keep working hard, and be ready for it.
There's a lot of perks you get for being an honoree, and we'll get them to you next week. But some of the cool ones is you get to go to the Aaron Waters show and participate and see the Blue Angels, which is very cool. And there's restaurant gift certificates. We have a small little honoree thing that we give you. That'll all come to you probably in the mail, or we'll drop it off at your department. I want to thank you, Chief, for, again, your recommendations are always good ones, and we've done a few together over the years. You have great people that work for you, men and women. And we should be proud of our fire department. It's just, it all comes together, training, expertise, obviously leadership. And I think you exemplify that. And that's why I'm not surprised that we're talking about this story in the way that we are, because of your leadership.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank. We have one more tomorrow. It's a interesting story, father and son. And it goes to the Franklin Police Department. And I haven't told Franklin Police Department, so they're going to be interested in finding out who that is on tomorrow's program. I'll do it about 11:30 tomorrow. She is Kristen. I am Steve. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching to all those of you on YouTube and our stream. We'll do it all again tomorrow.